Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is DRT, and I am here on Facebook Live and as well as YouTube Live broadcasting on with my Tuesdays with DRT segment. For the last couple of weeks, for the last 2 weeks, I guess we've been discussing the personal growth. So we started off with personal growth, defining what is it, and also talking about how we can start a personal growth journey. And then last week we started into discussing the 15 Valuable Laws of Growth, the book by John C. Maxwell. We started talking about the first law of the 15, which is the law of intentionality. And so today, and as you remember, if you were able to watch the replay from last week or you joined me live, in the law of intentionality, it says that growth doesn't just happen. And so we have to be intentional about our personal growth, just like it doesn't happen automatically. For instance, when we grow up from a baby to a toddler to a child to a preteen, we constantly every day we're growing, and it's automatic. But with personal growth, with the willingness or desire to change and be a better person, that does not happen automatically. So we have to be intentional about it. So today again is part two of the law of intentionality, and we're going to talk about the 8 growth gaps that John talks about in the book. And so the 8 growth gaps, and I'm going to share that with you. So if you haven't heard of this, the 8 growth gaps are the assumption gap, which is I will automatically grow. The knowledge gap, which says I just don't know how to grow, so I have a gap in the knowledge of it. The timing gap, which says it's not the right time to grow. The mistake gap, I am afraid of making mistakes. The profession gap, I have to find the best way before I start on my personal growth journey. The inspiration gap, which I think a lot of us really struggle with this one because it's just I don't feel like it. So whenever you come across things where it's like I don't feel like it, that's the inspiration gap kind of sneaking in there. And the comparison gap, which is other people are much better than I am. And the expectation gap, which says I thought it would be easier than this. So today we're going to talk about a couple of gaps, and I'm going to give you some examples of these gaps, as well as some of these gaps, let you know which ones that I struggle with, and that my goal is to eliminate those gaps in my life, so that I can be the best person that I can be, but not only that, so that I can grow in my personal growth journey without having these gaps as being a part of it as well. So the assumption gap, which says, I assume I will automatically grow. And the question that I have for my audience today is, how can you know if you're growing or not? And so think about that, and not growing like I'm just getting older or, you know, getting taller, but growing in your personal growth, in your character, growing in your habits. Do you find that, compared to this year, compared to the same time last year, do you find that you are a better person? Do you find that you have read more books, for example, or listened to different speakers? Maybe you were exposed to someone with during the time when we all were shut down and we were at home. Maybe you took the opportunity to learn a new skill or increase your skills in other areas of your life. Maybe you took that time to read books or even sign up for Audible and listen to books. So the question is, how can you know if you are growing or not? And with the assumption gap, saying that I assume I will grow, that also can translate into, if you, let's say, you are in the middle age, like I am, and I'm like, I've done my schooling, I've gotten my degrees, I've been working on different certifications, and yes, in that circumstance, my intellect is growing. I'm getting more education, but am I? And I ask myself this quite a lot: am I becoming a better person? Um, is my character becoming better? Do people around me notice that, wow, a month ago you would have responded differently to the situation, and you seem to be a little more mature in it? So that's the assumption gap. It's saying, instead of thinking I'm going to automatically get better and I'm going to automatically, build great habits, or I'm going to automatically handle situations better, we have to not assume. So if this is a gap that you notice in your life, I do encourage you to try to eliminate that that gap. So that's the assumption gap. The next one is the knowledge gap. So this gap says, I just don't know how to grow. And so you have these questions. So you're hearing, different people talk about personal growth. You're hearing different speakers talk about how to be a better person, how to expand your mindset, how to eliminate those limiting beliefs that we have that are keeping us from being who really um, who really God or designed us to be. So not knowing how to grow can be a powerful reason to simply not try to grow. So I hope that really makes sense, because when we don't know how to do something many times, because we've been taught that you need to know how to do things, and you need to, if you don't know how to do it, just do it. Sometimes if we don't know how to do something, we let fear keep us from even attempting to do it. And this is really a gap that has been very relevant in my life, because there's been many times where if I don't know how to do something, I just won't go for it. Like I'm just stuck. I'm thinking, you know what? I really don't know how to do that. I'm not going to be courageous and go for it. I'm just going to sit back and wait, or I'm going to learn it first and then I'll do it. And so this is, for me, whether it is a subject, whether it is a skill, this has really been one of my gaps. So if it is one of your gaps, the great thing with us growing up in the internet world is a lot of times you can just Google something. YouTube is a great resource if you need to find out how to do something like paint a wall, or put together a cabinet, or install something in your home. You can find YouTube. And the same is true for personal growth. Just because we don't know how to do it doesn't mean we can't find resources that will show us and teach us how to do it. I did mention in, I think in week one, that one of the books that I am reading right now is The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And in a combination to the book that we're studying with our mastermind group, which is The 15 Valuable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And I would say both of those books have really helped me to know what do I need to do to experience personal growth. So I hope you're able to look those up, and maybe even get them on Audible, or get a actual hard copy and start to read it. The next gap is the timing gap. So the timing gap says it's not the right time to begin. And many times this is how we function through life. And I said that because right now we're dealing with a lot of things being in the pandemic, and we're still in it. It doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. And so a lot of us were pretty much locked down during March, starting in March, and we kind of restrictions were lifted during the summer, but we still feel kind of like an animal in a cage. And sometimes we may think when we're going through things, whether it's external things outside of our home or internal things that are happening within our families, within our marriages, within our parenting relationships with our children, we may think that this is just not the right time to do it because I have so many challenges. But I will say this is the best time to do it. And why? Because in order to help you get through whatever you're going through, it is great if you have something, some reference point, something, some character building, something that will encourage you to change your mindset. It's so uplifting, and that has been for me over the last couple of months. I'm going through a couple of things in my personal life, but being able to read books about personal growth, about eliminating um, any limiting beliefs, books that encourage me to just do it, just step out there, just don't. If you have an idea, just put it into place. Don't think about it too long. And so those are things that I believe that will help you. So if you're in that place and now, we're about to turn over to a new month of October, and if you are like me, well, I used to be a big news junkie where I kept up with all the numbers for COVID-19. I kept up with everything going on in the news, and I was checking it every day. And I found out that that wasn't really the best use of my time. And not only that, but it just made me a little bit sad sometimes, and it affected my emotions. And so now I kind of just use the news as an on demand. If I want to hear it, I will search and see what's happening in the world and read what I want to read, and then I turn it off because um, those type of things will impact you. So I will encourage you, if you're going through some things and you have no control over them, take an opportunity and find some personal growth resources that will help you build your character during this time, and to give you the encouragement that you need to keep going through this time as well. So there's a law called the law of this diminishing intent, and that law says that the longer you want to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never actually do it. And how many of you know this is very, very true? Because and the example that I have is that I have someone that had a death in the family, one of my friends, and when they told me about it, my first thought was I really should get a card and send it to this person. And so it was a great idea, and so I had the idea on Sunday, and but I didn't have any action behind it. I didn't go to the store. I didn't get in my car, drive to the store. I just had the idea. So finally on Tuesday, I was thinking, it came to my mind again, like you should really get a card for this person. So I finally got out the house, get in the car, go to the store. I go in the store, I pick the card, come back home, and I put the card on my desk, and I don't even look at it again. I actually forget because I started doing other things and getting pulled in different directions. So Wednesday comes, I forget I even purchased a card, and Thursday comes, and then Friday comes, and it dawns on me again that, oh, I never sent. Where's that card? I need to find it. So I find the card, I fill it out, I put it in the mailbox, and I send it. But you see how many days that took? And that's what the law of diminishing intent is saying, that the longer we put it off, the odds that we'll never do it. And I've done that before, to be honest. I've purchased cards for someone, and it takes me 2 weeks to fill it out and send it out. So by the time I get back to it, to me, is the timing is off now, so I don't send it. And so if there's things, and I encourage you, for those who are watching the replay or joining me live, I will encourage you to look at the things that you know you need to do. And whether that is putting up the clothes when they come out the dryer and not just keeping them in the basket, whether that is cleaning out your junk drawer in your kitchen, whether that is, now that it's becoming fall, that you need to go out there and put some of your summer things up that's in the yard, whatever it is. Today is the day. So do it now, not tomorrow, not someday, not one day, but just do it now. Make a plan to do it and do it, because sometimes your later becomes never. And that is the one thing that I will say that I am doing better at. I'm not perfect, but I noticed that I am doing better because I have been more intentional with taking care of things. So when things are, when God puts people on my heart to send something to send a card, to call, to text, to reach out, I find that I'm getting to the point where I'm eliminating the timing gap from in my life entirely, because I'm starting to take on the the action in my life and just not waiting but doing it when I need to do it. So I hope that helps. So those were three of the gaps that John talks about in his book. He actually has 8, but I only want to go over 3 for today, and we'll go over the next maybe 2 or 3 next week, and then we'll go over the last couple. But before I end my time with you today, I want to let my audience know about the Global Youth Initiative that our team, the John Maxwell teams, we do every October and every April. And so for this month, our team is encouraged to serve our young people. So the young people are, it could be kids, or all the way up to young adults. And so from October 1st to October 31st, I will be offering free um, classes, workshops, and also I'm going to offer a virtual book reading. So those are 3 things that I really want to do to serve our young people today, our youth today. And so, for example, for the virtual book reading, I will use Zoom, and you can register. I will have links in my Facebook page over the next coming days. So if you would like your child to just sit in and hear and look and watch me read a book, um, please register. But the book that I'm going to read is called "Sometimes You Lose." I'm sorry. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, for kids, and it's by John C. Maxwell. And so I have a couple of sessions, so please, again, sign up for those. And then I'm going to do some personal or virtual personal growth classes for young people. And in those classes, we're going to talk about character, and we're going to talk about growing. And so if you have young people between the ages of 11 to about 18, that would be those would be the classes that they could join. I'll probably do like a 45-minute class with some time for Q&A at the end. But then I will list the topics. So I offer those classes during the month of October. And again, those will be offered virtually on Zoom as well. And my last thing that I want to offer for young people is a personality assessment. And this will be for ages 11 to 18 will have their own session. Then I have a time for ages, young adults, ages 19, 25. What I really like about the personality assessment is that it would give them an idea based upon their personality of what career that will fit their personality. And so, so if you have young person between 11 to 25, young adult, this would be a really good free session for them to attend. And that session will probably, I haven't really narrowed it down yet, but I'm thinking it may be between 45 to maybe 90 minutes. I'm not sure. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But it will be exciting. So and it would be very eye-opening for your youth. So that is the Global Youth Initiative that we are starting October 1st. I'm going to kick off my session starting Monday of next week, so that I have time to kind of get my schedule together and get everything together. But I'm going to start advertising this week. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. Um, reach out to me with any questions or any if you want me to do something specifically for your young person or your church youth group or a group of young people. I am more than willing to do that. I grew up in youth group, and I volunteered for many years with a youth group, with being a leader and a mentor and helping young people. And so part of my why is not only to help everyone, understand and reach their full potential, but I really, really want to help young people as well. Because as you learn your potential and as you embrace your potential and who you are and your purpose, then you can just be the best person, and you also are able to help others. So as we get ready to close our time today, I leave you with the question that I've left you with a couple of times already. But the question is, do you have a personal growth plan? So now that we've had three sessions together and we're learning more about personal growth, have you started to think about, what is my personal growth plan? Do I even have one? And if you don't have one, then make a plan to start. If it's just a notebook, write some things down that you want to accomplish. If there's dreams that you've always had and you haven't done them, do it. So I leave you with that today. What are you waiting for? Why haven't you done it? And if there are some things that you need to do to fulfill some things in your personal growth plan, just do it. Don't be afraid. Do it now. So thank you again for your time today. I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope this has been very, very um, educational and inspirational as well, and that it will begin to motivate you to create your personal growth journey. If you have one, look back at it, make sure that it aligns to where you are today. And also, I hope that you and your children and youth or young adults will be able to join me during the month of October as I offer classes and workshops and um, story reading to the youth, so that our John Maxwell team can serve them and add value to their lives. So have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday if you're joining me live. And for those who are watching the replay, have a fantastic week. And I will be back next Tuesday. I believe I may be going on an hour early next week, but I will definitely post that. If I have to be on a little earlier, I will let you know. But thank you. Have a great day. And again, feel free to contact me if you have any questions, or if you are ready to start your personal growth journey and you don't know how, and you want to talk to me about that. Definitely reach out and I will give you all the information I have. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.